Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dreams of Zion. My name is Zion, and my dreams are my stories that I'm telling about people and the prophecy of Israel. I wrote a book called The Potsmoker's Bible slash Book of Zion, which is the prophecy from the Old Testament, and it foretells um, the people of the drug using culture rising up and going on strike against the government and its oppressive laws against them. And they do it by following in the footsteps of Moses. They take to their tents. They gather together in a location in the panhandle of the state of Nebraska, where land meets the sand, and they build this great big huge camp. And so this is what the prophecy foretells. And so I'm telling short stories about the possible people who might go to Zion and friends of mine who might also go to Zion. So I'm incorporating people that I know into these stories as well as people that I imagine. And today's story is about a girl that I know. um, she is a coworker of mine. And at work the other day, if you can see the little thing right there, I think that might have come from that incident. But we were both going into. I was coming out of the freezer. She was going into the freezer, and she we bumped into the door and she squeaked like a mouse. So I started calling her Squeaky. And I just thought it would be so cool to tell a story for Squeaky. Now, Squeaky reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger and before I found the love of my life and things went south. So I can see in her that young me and how I long to find my true love. So I'm going to tell a love story today called Squeaky and the Major. Now, this story comes from her input. So I asked her a few questions about her dream man. She told me all about her dream guy. And then she said she hopes that he hears this. So hopefully, whoever he is, he might someday find his true love, which is my friend Squeaky. So anyway, because Squeaky is my friend and she has a place in Zion, she comes to Zion when the camp comes in. Now, you have to understand, Squeaky Good does not use drugs. And that's important because Zion is a movement to end the oppression of the war on drugs. But she doesn't get high. She doesn't use drugs. But that's not the point of Zion, really, because the drug users are just the the ones who start the movement, who create the nation. But it's people like her that are the main focus of the nation of Zion. So people like her are integral to the story. And I love Squeaky. She's so cute. Anyway, Squeaky wants to be in America. She wants to be a teacher. But in Zion, teaching is reserved to those who are retired because they know their subject better than anybody can. So they're the teachers. But because she wants to be with children, she wants to care for them, she wants to mold them and shape them, she would enter the child care guild. And she would be, trained up and well, because she has an innate love for children and there's a need for it in the camp, from the very moment the guild is set up, she would be working with the children. So her motivation to come to camp is because of this story. So let's just pretend that that's part of the story itself. So she has put out here her dream guy, and this is how I bring them together. Now, she's working with children. We're going to say they're between, they're like around 8, 9 years old. Yeah, 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that, in that range group. And camp has been open for a couple of months. This is not something that's going to be short term. this camp out. We've got to make a stand. So eventually, there's a group of carnivals that come to the camp because their owners want to be part of Zion. So the camp is set in the process of setting up this amusement park, which will be free of charge to all the citizens of Zion. And the children will be able to go to this amusement park through the child care guild that takes care of them while their parents work. So today in the story, today is the day that they open the carnival rides. Oh, the kids are so excited, and she's excited with them. Now, so she tells her, she gathers her kids up with her group of people. She's one of the aides. She's not the main person because she's young. So she's one of a group of nannies that are taking a group of about 15 kids to the opening of the carnival. So there's a particular boy in the group, Jamal. He is just a prankster from the word go. And almost immediately, when they get to the zipper ride, he bolts for it. And he just takes off and he runs into, let's call him Thomas. Thomas sees him running, hears her screaming at him, grabs the boy, and says, "Hey, where are you going?" And he kind of tucks him up underneath his arm because he's a big brawny type. And he proceeds to walk right up to her. And he has this just magnanimous smile on his face. And she takes one look in this man's eyes, and it's love at first sight. She sees, oh, she looks into those beautiful blue eyes with that with that brown hair from it, and she is just instantly just. And he looks at her with that red hair, and that feisty attitude, and he's just instantly in love with her too. But there's a problem. As beautiful as he is, he is what is known in this society as a carny. He's running the zipper ride. Now, that's got nothing to do with her dream guy. And so, but she's drawn to him, and he's drawn to her, and so he help, he helps the kids get into the ride. And when the kids are all taken care of, the nannies are kind of standing around, and he's like hitting on her. And she doesn't want anything to do with that because he's nothing but a carny, she thinks. But she's so drawn to him. And now, the kids see what's going on, and they know the story, her story, because it's a big thing in the camp that this is the girl, this is Squeaky. Everybody knows Squeaky. And so when they're talking, he says, "So what's your name?" Well, the kids at this point are still gathered around her, and they're like, "Squeaky." And he goes, "You're Squeaky?" And she goes, "Oh shit, yeah. What's your name?" Well, he says Thomas. She just shakes her head and she goes, "What's your rank?" And he goes, "Major." And she's like, oh my God. She's like, um, "Do you know the story of Squeaky and the Major?" And he just laughs and he goes, "Well, yeah, I actually have heard that story. It's one of the stories that it's one of the reasons I came to Zion." She just like steps back and she goes, "What?" He says, "Well, yeah, I heard that story and just thought, well, I'm a major. My name's Tom, and I got this thing for redhead. And she's just like, oh my God. And he just starts laughing. He just said, yeah, they asked me what ride I wanted, and I told them I wanted the zipper. And she just turns white because she's just like in shock. She's like, oh my God, there he is. She said he would be here, and there he is. Oh my God. And he says, so is it true that you came here to stop looking for love? And she just laughs and she says, yeah, that's the whole reason why I came. Because despite the story, she always told me that if I wanted to find my true love, I needed to stop looking for him. And if I wanted to stop looking for him, I needed to concentrate on my talents and my career, which is to be with kids. And with everything that has gone on in America, I just don't really want to be a part of it. And so I came here. So what is your reason for coming to Zion? Because she told me what your reason would be. And he laughs. He goes, well, you know, January 6th, I was stationed overseas. And I watched fellow soldiers storm my capital. And even though I'm a Republican, that was one step too far for me. And I started looking around at the racism and the white supremacy within my ranks. And I was appalled. And I resigned. So, when I heard about Zion and how they were trying to create a new country that would be based on not war, but defense. You see, I'm a patriotic soldier. I believe in defending what I love from violence. I learned how to defend my country against those who would oppress. And so I chose to come to Zion. And it was after I started watching the videos that I watched our story. And I just had this feeling that I had to come see. So here I am. And the kids it's like by the time this event had occurred, the kids had gotten off the ride. And it was like the whole group is just like in awe. Because Zion had foretold the loving, the coming together of these two soulmates, perfectly made for each other. And you could see it just by looking at the way they looked at each other. And the news of Squeaky and the Major spread through the camp like wildfire. In fact, the head nanny in the group called Zion the minute she realized what was happening. And she said, hey, Zion, Squeaky and the Major are getting together. So it was like, because I'm Zion, I had to come join the fun. And so I showed up just in time for their first true love kiss. And they lived happily ever after. So may your dreams of Zion come true. May you find the prophecy of Israel to be a beacon of light and hope for your future. Come join me dreaming of a place where we're all free, where we're all equal, where we're all provided for. a place where your profession is everything, except the only thing that matters above that is your family. So, love you. Later. I'll never say goodbye.